Hello and welcome to Mukoya Finance. My name is Saharuddin and I'll be your tutor in this class. In this tutorial, I will explain how bank customers can lodge a complaint with their banks when they have a problem with any of the banking services offered. The resolution of disputes shall be the responsibility of financial institutions. Customer complaints shall first be lodged with financial institutions for timely resolution and redress. Financial institutions like banks shall provide multiple dedicated channels to receive and handle consumer complaints, including verbal complaints. The channels may include letters, emails, telephone lines, social media, and digital software platforms. The following requirements shall apply in the deployment of the channels. 1. Be effective, functional, efficient, and accessible always. 2. Generate a unique identification number and acknowledge complaints within 24 hours of lodgement, including transcription of verbal complaints. 3. Accord special consideration to the needs of vulnerable groups, especially the physically challenged persons and seniors. 4. Provide emergency channels for reporting time-sensitive issues, especially fraud-related complaints at all times. Banks shall establish internal dispute resolution structures and processes, also known as IDR, for the effective management of customer complaints. The IDR mechanism shall satisfy the following requirements. Upon receipt of a complaint, communicate back to the customer within 24 hours an acknowledgement that contain A unique identification or tracking number, B. Contact details of the complaint desk, C. Expected resolution timeline, D. Escalation options, and E. An assurance that the complaint is being addressed. The mechanism shall use the identification or tracking number in all correspondences with the complainant. The banks shall designate a unit for complaints handling independent of other products or business functions, taking into consideration the nature and complexity of their businesses. Staff responsible for handling complaints shall be required to declare any conflict of interest that may affect their objectivity in handling a complaint. Banks shall resolve complaints received within the time specified in the timelines for complaint resolution, which we shall discuss in a subsequent video. Banks shall refund, identify excess charges, non-payment or underpayment of interest on deposits, unauthorized debits, etc., along with interest as provided in the extant monetary, credit, foreign trade, and exchange policy guidelines or any regulation issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Issue a letter of apology to the complainant where the above applies. Reconstruct customer's account to establish excess charges on overdrawn accounts and pay interest on the identified excess charges after reconstruction in accordance with extant Central Bank of Nigeria regulations. Remit established refunds and interest thereon to the complainant's accounts within the prescribed timelines for complaint resolution by institutions, which we shall discuss in a subsequent video. Send a summary resolution communication, also known as SRC, for the resolved complaints to the complainant by the next business day, conveying A. The basis for the decision or decisions, B. The right of appeal available to the complainant for a second-level review by the institution, and C. The right of escalation to the Central Bank of Nigeria or other alternative dispute resolution avenues where the complainant is not satisfied with the decisions arrived at. A complaint shall be considered as resolved where the complainant has indicated acceptance of the resolution in writing to the institution within 30 days after the receipt of the summary resolution communication. Otherwise, the complaint shall be deemed resolved and closed in the records of the institution. Where a complainant is dissatisfied with a decision communicated by a bank, the complainant shall, within 30 days from the date of the receipt of the summary resolution communication, request in writing for a second-level review. Upon receipt of a request for a second-level review, the bank shall review, resolve, and communicate decisions within the timelines for complaint resolution by institutions as explained in one of my subsequent videos for second-level review. Report complaint statistics in annual reports and abridged financial statements. A complaint shall only be escalated to the Central Bank of Nigeria under the following conditions. 1. If the complainant has exhausted the institution's internal dispute resolution process. 2. If a bank fails to acknowledge the complaint within 3 days. 3. within 90 days from the date of receipt of a decision from a bank. 4. If it is not undergoing the process of resolution or already considered and resolved by a recognized alternative dispute resolution channel. 5. If it is not under litigation or already adjudicated upon by a court of law, except where the aspect before the court is distinct from the matter brought to the Central Bank of Nigeria or where the court is dealing with the criminal aspect of the matter. Penalties are imposed by the central bank for violation of the guidelines by banks and shall be applied as provided below. Non-resolution of complaints within the prescribed timelines attracts a penalty of 500,000 naira per complaint per week while the infraction subsists. Non-acknowledgement of complaints from customer or non-issuance of tracking number attracts a penalty of 2 million naira per complaint. Non-response to request or failure to comply with the Central Bank of Nigeria directive attracts a penalty of 2 million naira. In summary, banks are responsible for resolving customer complaints and should have multiple channels dedicated to receiving and handling customer complaints. The channels include letters, emails, telephone lines, as well as social media and online apps. When you submit a complaint, a unique identification or tracking number will be sent to you within 24 hours of lodgement with expected resolution timeline and an assurance that the complaint is being addressed. A complaint shall only be escalated to the Central Bank of Nigeria if the complainant has used the bank's complaint resolution processes without success, or if the bank fails to acknowledge the complaint within 3 days and the case is not already in court, and then if the bank had responded to them with a decision that they do not agree with, the customer has to complain to the Central Bank of Nigeria within 90 days from the date of the receipt of the decision from a bank. In the next video, I will take you through the guide on how and where you can lodge a complaint against financial institutions that are regulated by the Central Bank of Nigeria, such as commercial banks, merchant banks, microfinance banks, primary mortgage institutions, and discount houses. And this brings us to the end of this video segment. In the next video, I will explain how bank customers can lodge a complaint with their banks when they have a problem with any of the banking services offered. If you have learned anything new today, please drop a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel in your quest towards understanding the banking services in Nigeria. See you in the next video.